welcome back to the channel. My name is Karina and today I'm going to be talking about my pregnancy story. I know me and my husband talked about our pregnancy and birth story in another video, but we didn't go much into detail. So today I'm here to tell you guys how my pregnancy happened detail by detail and how I told my parents and how I found out when I found out and all of those good stuff. So where it all started. By this time, me and my husband were living in an apartment and I was going to work, he was working, we were going to school, college, and yeah, it was normal. We were just working, living life, I guess. And then I don't know, this was around the end of the month, which is where I'm supposed to get my period cycle and everything. But yeah, it was supposed to get closer to that day. Like around that period time is that I got my period cycle. So yeah, so I was starting getting there was like these days where I started feeling different and bloated, and like I started getting cramps. Like I was getting cramps and everything, but I just thought it was pregnancy coming. So a few days had passed and I started feeling like cramps and bloated, and so I just thought it was like my period cycle coming, so I just didn't think any of it. But then a few incidents happened where my body felt different and like it wasn't normal, because there was this day at work where I was working with the kids and everything, and out of nowhere I felt lightheaded and like I felt like this anxiety run through my body. But of course I didn't think nothing of it. I was just like, I just sat down, took a breather, and I was like, okay, like maybe it's because I didn't eat in the morning or something like that. And then the next day or that night, I just couldn't sleep. Like I felt so bloated that like I couldn't be comfortable. I couldn't be comfortable in bed. Like I don't know how to explain it. I just felt like my stomach was exaggerated. And like I never felt like that when I'm about to go on my period or anything like that. I just felt my stomach different. Like something was different in my stomach. And I just couldn't sleep much. So the next day I started thinking to myself like this was like already like at the end of like the month. So I was like, my period is still not here, and like I've been feeling different, like then pregnancy started getting into my head, and I was like, oh my god, I might be pregnant. But I was like, I'm just gonna like let it go, and because I was just waiting for my period, like let's see if my period comes or not. And then like around that week I still felt the same, like just little cramps coming, very bloated, but no period yet. And I told my husband about everything and everything. He was like, he didn't think nothing about it either. He was like, okay, like let's just wait to see if your period comes or not. And by this time we were going to the gym. So ever since that little thought of pregnancy came into my mind, like we were at the gym And I was like, I'm not going to do weights. Like, I'm just in case, I'm not going to, because I was just working on like abdomen, like my abs and gluten. But I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do too much force with my stomach or anything. Like, I already felt weird. I'm not going to, because I don't know if it's not pregnancy and my period hadn't come. I don't know if it would have been something else in my stomach. I don't know. So, anyways, I was like, I'm not gonna do no force with my stomach or none of that. And then I just let my husband do his workout. And it's like around that week, that same week, I think so it was, we went paintballing. And so yeah, we went paintballing. And I felt like, no, wait a minute. So this was the night before we went paintballing. Since I felt so different, me and my husband, we went to the dollar store and I was like, we got this little ovulation test to see if I was ovulating or if it was because of that. But so I went home and I took the ovulation test and everything, and it said I was not ovulating. And I was like, that's weird. Like, around this time that my period is going to come and everything, I'm supposed to be ovulating. But the little ovulation test said that I wasn't. So I told my husband, okay, either I'm not ovulating, which is weird because it's not normal, or I'm just like probably early in my pregnancy and that's why I'm not ovulating, because when you're pregnant you don't ovulate, you're already pregnant. And he was like, oh, okay, like, let's see if your period comes. So I was like, okay, like, it was too early to, I'm like, I'm not gonna buy a pregnancy test because it's probably gonna tell me it's too early, like, it's probably gonna tell me negative because it was too early, like my period stage was still not there. And so the next morning or the next day, we went to work and everything was fine. And I was still feeling weird. And we were like, oh, let's go paintballing. So we went paintballing and I still like, this is so weird because that pregnancy little thing was still in my mind for everything that I did. I was like, every single little thing that I did, I was thinking, okay, no, like I was already protecting the baby inside of me, which is so weird. I don't know. It was mother intuition. I guess you get mother intuition that early. That's so weird. So I was like thinking to myself while we were at the paintball, like, oh my god, like what if it hits my stomach? Or like, is it gonna hurt me and whatever. And like we did paintball and I just did like 1 or 2 rounds and I was basically running away from everybody to not get hit. Or like if I thought I was gonna get hit in my stomach or somewhere around that area of my abdominal, I would just like turn around or something, because like I was protecting my belly. And so that night I told so that night we went to the apartment, we got back home, and I told my husband like everything that I felt and everything, and he was like, okay, then take a pregnancy test. And it's weird because we already had 2 pregnancy tests at home, but they were from like months ago that we thought that we were pregnant and we took it and we weren't. And then my period came and everything, so it was all negative. But this time, I was like, we might be pregnant for real, like. And he was like, okay, then take the pregnancy test and see what it says. So I went in the bathroom and I was like, oh my goodness, this is gonna tell me if I'm pregnant or not. And I felt like so nervous. I don't know, like I never felt that nervous before. I was like, it's like if I already felt it that I was pregnant. And I saw I peed on the little pregnancy test and everything. And I came out of the bathroom, and me and my husband, I was like, I don't want to see it. I just want to leave it in the bathroom. And then like a few 10 minutes after, we'll go back to the bathroom together and see what it says. So I was like, okay, we were at the living room watching TV or whatever. And I was like, and then we were just chilling. And I was like, okay, let's go see the pregnancy test. And then, like, me and my husband, we were so nervous. So we went to the bathroom together and we looked at the pregnancy test. And when it said it was pregnant, I just started crying. And, like, my husband was so happy. But I just started crying. But it wasn't like because I was pregnant, like a guilt or none of that. Just because my body told me, like, I felt it, and I knew that it wasn't normal. Like, I was like, my period is still not here, like, this and that, like, me protecting my belly. And I was like, oh my God, like, I knew it. And it was so weird, like I knew that I was pregnant. Like, I felt it. So that's why I was like, oh my goodness, like, I couldn't believe it. Like, everything is it's so, like, amazing how women can feel that difference in their body. And, like, as soon as I saw that pregnant, I was like, oh my God, I knew it. And I started crying. And I was just happy. And, yeah, I'll be back. The baby's crying. Alright guys, so the baby woke up, so if you hear her in the background, don't mind her. So when I found out I was pregnant, I remember, like, the thoughts passing through my head. Like, how am I gonna tell my parents? Like, I didn't know how they were going to react. And I was so scared to tell them. Like, my parents, they're more of like the strict parents. And my husband's parents are more like the easygoing Hispanic parents. And so we just kept it a secret for like almost a month. And after almost a month, I was like, I can't keep it a secret anymore from my mom at least. And there was this day I was at my parents' house, and then I was alone with my mom, and I showed her a picture of the pregnancy test, and because I didn't know how to tell her, so I just took a picture of it and I showed her, and she was just looking at the picture of the pregnancy test like, who's pregnant? And I was like, I'm pregnant. Like, I took the picture at home. Like, who do you think is pregnant? And she was like, oh my God, those are your pregnancy tests? And I was like, yes. And then she was like, oh my God, like, did you guys not use protection? Like, what happened? Did you guys want to get pregnant and everything? And then I was just talking to her and everything, and she was like, so, like, how are you gonna tell your dad? And I was like, I don't know, like, I don't know how he's gonna react. I'm scared to tell him. She's like, well, you can tell him in his birthday as a surprise. Like, you can surprise him with it. And I was like, okay, like, I'll surprise him with it. So we planned to surprise him for his birthday, which was coming up in October. And so I told my husband, like, we're gonna surprise my dad. And it was so hard because almost everybody in his family knew it. And I was like, I hope no word goes around, like my dad didn't know it. And so me and my husband, we went, like, to buy his birthday present, which was how to surprise him with the pregnancy test. And so we just made up an idea of like, okay, we're just gonna wrap present over present over present, and then when he gets to the end, like stops unwrapping, the pregnancy test will be in a box. So we bought this little onesie, like a neutral onesie, and it was so hard to find a neutral onesie. It looked mostly for like a boy. And I was like looking for a gender neutral onesie, but the one that we found, we used it. And so we bought him like some little perfumes and stuff for him to see that first. And then we just wrapped everything, like I said. And so for his birthday, I was so nervous. And I didn't want to do it in front of everybody either, because I didn't know how he was going to react. And I didn't want to make him uncomfortable in front of everybody. So I just waited until everybody and his birthday left. And I was like, don't open my present until everybody's like out of the house. And then like when everybody left and everything, we gave him his pregnant, and we're like, his present, and we were like, open it. And we're just like, my sister was recording him and stuff, because like my sisters, they found out because my husband's family, since they already knew, like his sister, she sent me a message saying like, congratulations, I found out. And by that time, my phone number was still I bought a new phone, so I got a different phone number, but my old phone number was with my parents' my parents' phone stuff. So my sister had the phone number that I had, and the message didn't come to me. The message was delivered to my sister. So my sisters were thinking like, well, congratulations, like this was supposed to be for Karina, but like, what? Congratulations about what? So they already figured like she might be pregnant. Oh my God. But they didn't tell me nothing. And when my dad was opening the presents and everything, they were just recording, and they didn't know for sure, but they were recording and stuff. And then, so my dad opened his perfumes, his little watch that we gave him for his present. And then he saw the onesie, and he was like, what is this? Like, he was clueless. Like, what could this be? It's a onesie. It's a baby onesie. And my sisters were like, oh my God. Like, they were just like recording and all happy. Like, I know what this is. I told you. And my dad was like, and then my dad just put the onesie to the side, and then there was one more little box, and in that box was the pregnancy test. So when he opened it, he just looked at it like, what is this? Like he never seen a pregnancy test before. What happened? So he opened it and he was like, what is this? And I was like, what do you think it is? It's a pregnancy test. So he got all excited, and he was like making his little excited screams or whatever. Here. And like, I felt such a relief when I saw him like just jump of excitement. Like, there was no like, he didn't show any type of like being upset or anything. And I was like, oh my God, he's happy about it. And let me tell you, like, he never said like, oh, you should have waited, you should have done this, why did you do it so, like, why did it happen so quick? Like, a pregnancy is something that's like, when it happens, it happens. Like, I wasn't preventing, like, for a time I was preventing, but then I stopped, and like, we were like, if it happens, it happens. So like, something that you can't just like, I don't know. He never showed no like emotion of like, oh my god, why did you guys not wait? So he was just happy, and he was just happy, and I was happy to know that my parents were just happy about the news and excited about becoming grandparents for the first time, because like I didn't tell you guys, but I'm the middle child. I have an older sister and a younger sister, and also like a older sister. She's like 26. I have a 24-year-old sister, and I'm the middle child, and then I have a 17-year-old sister. So like, neither of my older sisters had gotten pregnant or anything, so they hadn't gone through all of this news. Like, this is new for them. They were gonna be grandparents for the first time by me, and I was just so excited. We were all so happy and everything. And yeah, like that's how my pregnancy story and how I found out, how I told my parents. And yeah, like I wish I can show you guys my dad's reaction, because it was priceless. Like, I was so happy. But yeah, you want to close out the video with me? She's a little grumpy. But here's Mrs. Aveline. Baby Aveline. Right? Okay guys, so that was it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the little story time. Right? Hope you guys enjoyed the little story time. Say, hope you guys enjoyed the little story time. Hope you guys enjoyed the little story time. No, she's not happy. So yeah guys, that was it. Thank you for sticking around if you did. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Peace.